Hello, everyone. Welcome to my webinar. Can you all hear me clearly? I hope you can hear me clearly. Thank you very much for joining this webinar. It's great to have you all here. It's just around 8 o'clock in Perth, in Australia. And it's good to see you all again. I haven't done webinars in quite some time, but this has been a refreshing experience. Welcome, everyone. I can see a lot of comments coming through. Sunil, Drew, Sikh, Ramani, Rohit Kumar, everyone, welcome to this, to the webinar. So today I'm going live from my home or home office here in Perth. And this webinar will probably go around, say, 60 or 70 minutes. I'll try to wrap it up within an hour if I could. But I don't want to do it in a rush. I just want to share with you my experience first in writing, the mistakes that I see people make when they are writing their SLR. And after that, I want to show you how a systematic literature review paper is structured, and then I will show you the course that I have designed. Okay, so that's the kind of structure or the layout for today's session. Okay, so let me get my slides up. Give me 1 second. All right. Okay. So, like I was saying, what we will be doing today is first I'm going to tell you what are the top 5 mistakes that normally I see when reviewing a SLR paper, and I want to share those mistakes so that you do not make those mistakes. Okay. And secondly, I then want to show you how to structure your systematic literature review paper and what are the main sections that the paper should have. And following that, I will show you the course that I have developed. Okay, so one thing I want to make it very clear that even if you have not written a SLR paper before, you do not have any experience in academic writing or writing research papers, that's perfectly okay. Yeah, let me tell you that you can do it. All right. I mean, for every researcher, there is always a first time when they get embark on a journey with their research, and typically a systematic literature review is their first experience with research. Okay. So as we get started, I would like to ask you where all you are from. You are coming from which city or which country, where you're all coming from. So if you can just write that in the comment, that will be then we'll get started. Okay, so we have people joining us from Malaysia, Kochi, Madrid, Sydney, Pune, IIT Delhi, Karnataka, Haveri district from Karnataka. I didn't miss anyone. Rakhi from Delhi, Abhay from Malaysia, Fatim from Kochi, Abayomi from Madrid, Paula from Sydney, Vijayawada. So we have people from all over Indonesia, Tamil Nadu, Tunisia, Miriam, Jinal Shah from Mumbai. Okay, so we have a lot of people coming from all different parts. So we have Abiodun from South Africa, Manipur, Devika Surok from Manipur. Great. I'm so happy to see so many people, so many participants joining this webinar. Really make me feel very happy. Cool. All right. So like what I was saying, if you are starting with writing your literature review paper, even if you have not done this kind of academic writing, it's always the first time for everyone or anyone who gets into or embarks on a journey on writing a systematic literature review. So what I want to say is that you can do it. Okay. This is the first thing that I want to convey in this webinar, that you have to believe in yourself. Okay, so can I get everyone to type in "I can do it" in the comments? You can do it. And I'm here to tell you or to guide you through this journey of writing your systematic literature review paper. Okay, so that is okay. It's coming. Abiyomi says I can do it. That's great. I think you just have to have that confidence and belief that you can do it, and it will happen. It is not something very difficult or impossible. Others have done it in the past, so you can also do it. Okay, so let's. All right, to put this in context, there is something that even I started not so long ago. If you see last year or so, I did my first YouTube video on my YouTube channel, and it was a learning experience for me. I had no experience doing videos, shooting videos, or putting them online, or even doing live broadcasting or live like what I'm doing now. But I learned, and what I want to show you now is the difference 1 year can make in how, when you start this. You can see the first image on the left, which is on the 26th of May. That was probably the first online live broadcast attempt that I did, and you can see it looks pretty bad. I am surprised that I could do something like this. It looks pretty bad. And then you can see the one on the right, which is just under 1 year. You can see the stark difference between the kind of videos I had and kind of videos I do now. And what I want to, the reason I want to bring this up here now is I wanted to say that I can do it. Even at this age, I can learn, and it is a lifelong learning experience. Okay, so it's like Shri Vidya said, it's a transformation. And maybe another year from now, May 2022, there could be even something more, something different. And what we do, or what we see happening, is as you learn, you improve, you evolve, and you get to a next level of your own selves. And same thing is pretty much the case even with your research. So when you write your first research paper, you will find that after a few years, when you write another research paper, you can see that difference of what it was when you wrote for the first time versus what it is now. So what I want to say now is that I want you to believe in yourself, keep an open mind, and take this journey on. So don't be afraid, don't be hesitant, don't think too much. It is fairly a straightforward process. As long as you know what to do and you do it, I think you will get there. Okay, so For now that we are starting this webinar, we're going to spend a fair bit of time today on this. So I want two things from you. Yeah. Firstly, I want your undivided attention during this whole webinar. Okay. So if you do not get distracted during this 60 odd minutes, I think that will be really appreciated. So if you have your phone, just keep it away, or if you're watching this on the phone, just have the phone on, disable any notifications that are coming up on the phone, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so this webinar is going to be very valuable. I mean, if you have seen my YouTube videos, you know that any videos that I make, they are very useful and valuable to researchers. So even one idea from this webinar can be life-changing for you. So spend this 1 hour with me, listen to what I have to say, and take proper notes. Yeah, it could, if you want to take notes on a piece of paper, a pen and paper, that's fine. If you want to take notes on digitally, that's also fine. But whatever I say, just keep that, listen to that, and see if you can apply it as you go through your research journey. So that's what I was saying. For the best value in this webinar, I would want your undivided attention and no distractions. Okay. Remember, even one idea from this webinar can be life-changing, like I said. So listen carefully, learn whatever you can learn in this 1 hour, and then apply afterwards. Okay. So writing an SLR paper is a process in a way, you know. So there are certain steps that you have to take when you write your research, when you write your systematic literature review paper. Okay, so I have done systematic literature review webinars last year. There is a 5-part series. It's completely free. You can check it. It's one of the most popular videos or playlists on my channel. It takes you through step by step across over 5 webinars. Total, I think it is around 15 hours of video. Check, that's completely free, very valuable. And I have seen many people who have followed those webinars have published their paper in Scopus journals. Okay, so you can also do that. After running that webinar series, I did run a course on SLR last year, and I called it as a 21 days of writing. And the focus there was to write a systematic literature review over 21 days. It was a live course, and many participants joined that course. And some of those participants have already published a very high quality SLR paper in a top journal in their field. So I want to show you 2 of those participants. Both coincidentally published the paper in the same journal. So this is a journal called as IEEE Access. In the computer science field, it is a very well-known journal. It has an impact factor of 3.745. It's considered as a Q1 or a quartile 1 journal or a A-ranked journal. Okay, so this is what is possible if you follow a system and a structure to write a systematic literature review paper. Today, one of the authors from this paper, from the paper on the left on online extremism detection, Mayur, he is present today, and I will be interviewing him in this webinar so he can share his experience with you all. The paper on the right is another participant, and in fact, this paper was so related to my research area that I am a co-author on this paper. But both papers are equally good, and I think both papers, I mean, both these papers are open access papers, so you can check those papers out. I'll copy the link later on. And very extensive and very thorough papers. I think both the papers are over 40 pages long. So it's a very, very thorough investigation of a particular topic in using a SLR. Okay, so similarly, so there are quite a few other participants who did this course with me, and they did they are currently either working on their paper or the paper is currently under review. So as they get published, I will put it on my website so you can see the outcome or the output. Welcome, Sam. I think you are logging in from the US, if I'm not mistaken. It's probably pretty early morning there. Okay, so these are the links to the papers. You can check it out later on. Now, I also wanted to show you my Google Scholar profile, just to show you, give you a bit of a background about myself. And the purpose for showing the Google Scholar is, if you see the papers that have very high citations here, are mostly either literature review papers or systematic literature review papers. So one of the benefits of publishing a SLR article is you get cited very well, and you can get you can build up your citations fairly fast. Okay. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to ask you a few questions, and I'll appreciate if you can answer them in the comments. So just to get to know you a little bit about you, where you're coming from as in your academic background or in terms of your research and so on. So there are 4 questions. Let me ask you the first question, and you can answer that in the comments. So the first thing I want to know is, are you planning to write a systematic literature review paper? If you're going to write a systematic review paper, please type ME in the comments below. Rakesh, Payal, Abayomi, Biju, Madhuri, Rohit, Rakhi, Utpal. Quite a lot of you are planning on writing an SLR paper. That's great. I'm really happy to see that. So I think you will get a lot of value from this webinar today. Hassan, Riva, Sunil Dro, Arti. Cool. That's good. So writing an SLR paper, I think, is your first step in the research. All right. So now let me ask you the next question. Are you currently writing an SLR paper? How many of you are currently writing an SLR paper? And I think this would be useful if you are currently writing, because some of the tips or the mistakes that I'm going to cover in today's webinar, I think you can check whether those things apply to you in your article or not. So Jinal says, yeah, she's writing but struggling. Okay. Sandy, Sang Mendy says yes. Rohit says no. Devika, no. Rucha says yeah. Osman, I'm already writing one. That's great. So if you're writing a systematic review paper, you're already on the right path. I think everyone has to do at least one thorough systematic review paper in their during their research journey. Abayomi says, I'm writing but got stuck. Swati Shah says, I am writing. Giuliani is also writing. Ramani says my abstract is selected and in the middle of the paper. Okay. Miriam says I'm starting. Sam, you have already started. That's good. Lady Fa says yes. Deepika says me. Sam, no. Okay. So quite a lot of you are already have published a journal, or if not, you will probably get there very soon. Okay, that brings me to the fourth and probably the most important question, and that is, what challenges are you facing when writing your research paper? It could be an SLR paper, could be a theoretical paper. So what challenges are you facing? If you can mention that, that would be really helpful. Simran Kamaljeet, she has 4 papers already, so that's great. Simran, good to see. Shri Vidya says her paper is in review. Fatim had submitted. Jinal is writing. Okay, so what challenges do you face when writing your systematic review paper? If you could mention that, that will be great. Ramani says, what's the difference between Cochrane and other SLR papers? So Cochrane is just one systematic literature review methodology followed in medical area. Ankita says, clueless about how many papers should be reviewed for a good paper. Yeah, that's a common problem that students do face early on. Challenges in writing, what references should be shown? So Jinal, if you have challenges in writing, I think you should look at my course. I have got hundreds of templates to help guide and finish off your writing. Swati says data extraction and synchronization. Lady Fafa says to state the previous studies, which one to select and putting them in which order. Okay, broad classification and challenging. Writing the quality assessment part, searching good research papers without access to Scopus and Web of Science. Okay, I can see a lot of challenges that you all are facing while writing this, and these are practical challenges, and these are something related to experience as well. Some of these things you will learn as you do your papers. Ramani says, I need somebody to mentor me while writing the SLR paper. That's great. I think mentoring is very much necessary because there are so many questions that you don't know. I mean, doing a systematic review is one thing, but while you're doing, there may be some questions. And if you have somebody to guide you in that process, just like quick answers, if you're stuck, that would really help. Okay, so I think having seen the challenges that you all have mentioned, I hope I will cover a lot of these things in either in the session today, or quite a few of these things I have covered in my videos that I do on my YouTube channel as well. Okay, so let's get back to the webinar, the content. So basically what I wanted to cover over the next hour or so is to make sure that these challenges that you experience do not result in stress, worries, or feeling of rejections or defeats. Make sure that you're always positive, and problems will always be there. We have to figure out a way to address those problems, solve those problems, and move forward. Yeah, that is the main important thing that you should achieve in progressing with your research. Okay, I want you to be confident, gain control of where you are, have faith, and believe that you can succeed. Okay, so be in a positive state of mind throughout your research. Yeah, and if there is any challenges that you experience, any challenges that you find, there is always other researchers in the community who would have experienced that or who would have gone through that. So you're welcome to join my research community. I think many of you are already there. You can ask questions to the community members. Everyone has something to share, and everyone can learn from this whole network. Okay, so now I would want to invite Mayur. He is one of the participants who did my course and has A level publication already published. So let me add him to the stream. Give me 1 minute, and then we will get started. Okay, I think there is some technical difficulty. Mayur cannot connect. So I'd like to, oh, sorry, I think he is here. Yeah, just give me 1 second. Let me add him to the stream. Hi, Mayur, can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear clearly?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I can.
Could you speak? I think we cannot hear you.
You can hear?
Oh, yeah,
Yes, sir.
okay. Yeah, we are good. What I may do is I will just do like this. Okay. All right. So everyone, we have Mayur with us today. Hi, Mayur.
Yes, hello, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for taking the time to come and share your experience about writing your SLR paper in probably 21 days or probably a month. I think it was a great achievement, and I'm very proud of you that you were able to actually, starting from scratch, finish your paper and get it accepted in a top journal. So would you like to share your experience, just the whole process, or what was the learning experience that you had?
Okay, so first I would like to say thank you to you, sir, because of you I was able to publish the paper, because of your course, and that was the stepping stone. Actually, that course was a stepping stone for a publication. At the first, I had same problems that the participants are facing, same problems, that what we have to search, what quality papers that we have to select. So all these problems that I faced, everybody faced actually in our course, at 21 days course, everybody faced that same thing. And by your guidance, we were able to do such of a rigorous, SLR. And another thing that I would like to establish, that most of the papers that my colleagues that have submitted to the IEEE Access, other colleagues, so everybody's paper was rejected because their English was poor, because we have English as a second language. But due to your course, the 21 days in writing, and the personal, we can say the Vidy sir has given his personal attention to writing, and we have developed, I can say, I have developed some of the mechanisms that he had shown us, that grab something from some papers and try to adjust them, or try to change the language and include it in your paper. So that has actually helped us, and even the reviewers have actually gave us a compliment that you have written a good SLR. So I can only thank Vidy sir. Because of him, I was able to publish those that online extremism SLR in IEEE Access.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Mayur. I think those words are very very kind. But I think it is what I did was provided you just with the guidance of what needs to be done. The effort that you put in over those 21 days, I think that was just phenomenal. I mean, I could see how the paper developed over those
Oh,
21 days, and
yes,
you really kind of followed the I say the recipe. So I told you do this, you did that. You do this, you did that. And
yes, sir.
why? And as you did it, followed it, you yourself could have seen how your paper developed, progressed, and improved, isn't it?
Yes, yes, sir. Actually, I want to say again, the 21 days were not just write it by from start to end. It
Hmm.
was like we have to start the brick by brick, and
Yeah.
because of those, we were able to construct such a good paper. So those steps were really a guiding point to us. And I want to say that our community, actually, the 21 days, the participant, actually, we have a WhatsApp group, we discuss our problems through it. Actually, it
Hmm.
also helped us to actually understand the niches in the SLRs, and what are the problems that actually faced by the others. And
Yeah.
actually, it helped us to write more thoroughly.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's good, and you're probably one of the first success stories from my course. So I'm very, very happy to see the paper that came out from your on your research. So I think that's the first, is probably is the first paper, and many more to come as you
Many more,
progress through your
whatever will be. Yes.
studies.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Thanks, Mayur.
Okay.
Thanks for coming and sharing your insights. I think a lot of the participants, a lot of the participants have joined this webinar. I think uh, they can have the confidence now that they can do it.
Yes,
They
sir.
have seen you do it.
Yeah.
So I guess that would motivate them
Yes.
to get to that
Yes.
stage as well.
The only thing I want to say to the new participants is, please follow what Vidy sir says, because whatever he says is and will be useful to you. And if even if you were able to get something from the SLR, if you even if you are not able to publish the SLR right now within this course, but you will definitely will be having a SLR within 2 or 3 months. That I can be sure of it, because you're not just Vidy sir, the other participants, your discussion, your ideas will be discussed through your community, that other participants, and you can grow the community. And Vidy sir will be always there to guide you in your errors, whatever you have, prove means whatever you have proposed, he will try to check it out. And I can say he's especially strict in the English, and so please follow his directions. So you can get a very good SLR out of this course, and I will guarantee personally that you will get a good SLR within a month or two, just by following VD sir's guidance.
Cool. Thank you, Mayur. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Bye, everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Bye.
good
Bye.
luck.
Thank you. Cool. All right. So that was Mayur. So he, as you can see, is very happy, and I'm also quite happy to see his paper published in a good journal. Okay. So now I would like to invite another participant, Keflina. Keflina, are you ready? Can I put you on the screen? Yeah. Okay. All right. Hi, Keflina. How are you?
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Kafrina and I'm from Monash, Malaysia. I'm in my first year. Yes, I'm in my first year, and nice to see my other classmates, Madam Vidya, Hina, Nunong, Anne Marie, and Paula out there.
A lot of the first group participants have joined the session. Yeah.
Right, yes.
So everyone, Kaflina is currently pursuing her PhD from Monash University from the Malaysia campus. And she was also a participant in the course, and she is currently working on her SLR paper, soon to be finished. Yeah, I just want Kaflina, if you can share some of your experience, some of your thoughts, and you saw what
Okay.
all of the participants were suggesting, the struggle and the challenges they are experiencing with teaching.
Okay, just a little bit of my background. I'm a early career researcher. I was working in the corporate for 20 years, and I'm on a career break right now. And SLR is not easy, seriously. But before I entered Monash, I attended Dr. Vidy's class, Prof Vidy's class, and just like what Mayu said, it has been really, really good. It's just that you need to follow the class step by step, and most importantly, you must have confidence in doing it, and you need to also have patience and faith that you'll be able to make it. I almost died, but thank you to Prof Vidy for giving me the confidence and pulling me through. So I'm hoping to come out with my first draft by July. So that's my story. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Kaflina. So Kaflina has also been, like what she said, SLR is not is hard, but it is not hard. It's lengthy, I would say. It is. It can take time, and depending upon how many papers you would select or choose for your SLR, the length of time that it would take to finish can take longer. So yeah, it's always an interesting experience when you begin your SLR, very excited, and then you reach a peak where you're like, oh, I am going to do it, and just keep that passion, that motivation alive, and then you will get there. So Kaflina will be next time when you get your paper published, we will have you on the channel again.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So thanks, Kaflina. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. So that was Kaflina. Let me just get the slides back. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So I can see we are quite getting over time. So I want to skip a little bit of the things anyway, but I'll cover the main topic now. So if you could just quickly give me a bit of your background about whether you're a PhD scholar, MPhil student, associate or assistant professor, or your bachelor's or master's student. Well, that will just give me some idea of how I can structure the rest of the talk. Okay, so I can see there's quite a good mix of participants from bachelor's to master's students, PhD scholars. I can see assistant professors, PhD scholars, Trupti, Abayomi, Payal Arora, assistant professor and a PhD scholar. Okay, so I think that what I'm going to cover now will be interesting to you all. Before we get into the 5 mistakes 5 mistakes that you do with an SLR, I would like to talk a little bit about myself. Some of you already know me. For those who don't know me, so I was born in India, and I lived in many cities in India, like Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Aurangabad, Daman, Vapi. After coming to Australia, I have been settled in one city. So I completed my bachelor's from Gujarat University in India. And then I did my master's and my PhD from Australia. Okay, can you hear me? No, okay, all right. So in 2001, I came to Australia. I did my master's in information technology degree from University of Newcastle. And then I moved to Perth, where I did my PhD and at Curtin University. So when I completed my PhD, I was one of the youngest PhD students, one of the PhD graduates in my university. And later that record was broken by one of my PhD students. So that makes me even happier. After I completed my PhD, I got into a research fellowship position. So normally when you finish your PhD, you get into a postdoc first, and after that you can apply for a position like an assistant professor or a lecturer in Australia. And yeah, but I was able to directly apply and get into a research fellowship position because I had a very strong publications during my PhD. So I directly got into my PhD. I published many papers. So I want you to take a guess of how many papers I would have published during my PhD and answer that in the comments below. And let me see who can get it right. Just don't check my Google Scholar profile. Any guess? 2 publications, 3 publications, 5 publications, 40. No. That's way too much. Rohini, 20. Okay. Lady Fafa, 12. Okay, let them keep coming. Jinal Shah said 6. Okay. Any more? 26. Wow, if I could do 26, that would have been great. Rohit Kumar, 15. Fatim, 15. Okay, so you guys have done quite a good guesses, and I think the one who was right was Rohini Pisay. So I had 20 publications during my PhD. So I published 20 papers, including a mix of conference papers and journals together. But that gave me the experience of writing. And that's not it. Once I graduated from my PhD, I was able to get a number of PhD students to work with me. Yes, 20 papers in 3 years. That's right. So it can be surprising to quite a few people, but that's not all. I had one student who started a PhD with me, and she did 24 publications in her PhD. So what I want to say is that publishing is an art as well as a science. Okay, so if you check out one of my other PhD scholars, her name is Dinusha Ratnayaka. So she was phenomenal in publishing. So she published, I think, 24 or 25 papers, and in top journals and conferences. Okay, it was not just some low quality papers. So she had her paper accepted in IEEE Transactions on Industrial Informatics. It's an A-star journal, 7.5 impact factor. Then we had a paper in Journal of Networks and Computer Applications, JNCA, 5.5 impact factor. International Journal of Electrical Power and Energy Systems, 3.5, and the list goes on. You can check her profile. But what is important here is that when she started her PhD, she had only one publication from her honors. And during her PhD, she was able to just crack the skill or the art of publishing. So far, I have guided over 15 PhDs. They are all graduated by now. I have over 150 or 160. I don't know. I have lost count of my number of publications, but somewhere around that range. When you see my Google profile, you can find the exact number. Yeah. Other than that, my research area, for those who are not sure, don't know, is in technology space. So I work in the area of blockchain, Internet of Things, machine learning, and AI. So mostly around the tech space. That is what my experience is. Okay, so that was a bit about myself. I'm also on the editorial board of A-star journals, and I have published literally everywhere in most top research outlets. However, when I started my journey, many of my papers were rejected too. So it was not always easy sailing for me as well. So I was not always, it's not always a happy moment when you see the email that comes to you that says that we regret to inform you that and by the time you read that we regret to inform, you know that your paper is rejected, and it is, everyone goes through that experience. It is not just me or you. Everyone has that experience. But now, over the last 10, 12 years, I have written a lot of papers and I have reviewed a lot of papers. And now when I just look at a paper, in less than a minute, I can say whether I should read this paper any further or not. That is a level of experience or skill that I have developed now. And then I know that it is not worth my time to read any further because this paper is just not ready yet. Okay, so that is where, and I don't. So anyone who writes a paper should make sure that it is perfect, it is complete, it is ready to go out to be published. Okay, I'll skip a few slides, and I directly want to go to the 5 mistakes that you can make while you are while you're writing a systematic literature review paper. So these are just a few examples or few mistakes that you can do. Other than that, there could be a lot more mistakes, a lot of things that need to be looked at carefully, assessed, evaluated, and fixed. But I have picked up these 5 things, and these are the things that I look for once I get the first draft of the paper from my student, for example. Yeah. So this is what, when the student says or the participant says that, okay, my paper is ready, I want to submit. I will take that paper at that stage when they say it is ready to submit, and I will pick up these 5 things. There are many more things that I pick up, but I will talk about 5 things today. Yeah. So what is the first thing? First thing is about proofreading your paper. Yeah. So you need to read each and every line of your paper. Yeah. Every line is there because it is conveying some information. Yeah. So you have to read it carefully. It's not just that once you have written and you think it is ready and you go to submit. No. If you think your paper is ready, send it to me. I will find so many mistakes in that you will reconsider whether the paper was ready or not. Okay, so over so many years, I have reviewed and written so many papers that I know when a paper is ready or when the paper is not ready. Okay, so let's see. All right, so let me ask you one question first. How many of you proofread your paper before you submit it for review? Can you just answer yes or no? Okay, Rohit says yes, Ramesh says myself, Simran says yes, Fatim says yes. Okay, so now the next question is, how many of you get a professional proofreader, yeah, to check your paper? Not proofreading yourself, but getting a professional to do it. Abhay says no, Hina says no, Srinivasa no, Utpal no, Rohit no, Rohini no. Okay, so all those who are saying no, my follow-up question is, why don't you do it? So if you're not getting it professionally proofread, what is the main reason for that? Jay Sharma says it's not free. Jinal says don't know who to approach. Abhay says fear of plagiarism. Biju says it's expensive, not free, expensive. Abayomi says I don't know it was necessary, or sometimes it is expensive. I don't know who to approach. Okay, so let me say that it can be expensive, but it is a necessary step if you are approaching top journals. Okay, so the moment they see any grammatical mistake, they kind of feel that your paper is not suitable for the journal. Okay, so if there is a cost associated with getting it professionally proofread, you have to bear that cost. Yeah, and that is one of the most important thing that I would recommend, and it is something that you have to account for. Okay, one option is you improve your English. If your English is good and perfect, no issues. But if you're not confident with your English and there are going to be mistakes in a paper, it is recommended that you get it proofread. Okay. So what I was saying was, proofreading is important because it reflects the quality of your paper. Yeah, and when you read a good quality paper, you will see that you enjoy reading it, and then there are no errors or mistakes in those papers. The reason is they would have been definitely professionally proofread. Yeah, and it is a practice, and it is an international practice. Everywhere, if you see, they would get your paper professionally proofread before submitting. This ensures the quality, and when I'm working with my students, I spend a fair bit of time to go through the paper sentence by sentence, looking at it. Wherever I can make some suggestions, wherever I can pick some mistakes, I will fix them. But see, I'm also not a professional editor. Yeah, my even English is not my first language, but I do fairly good. But somebody who is a professional will definitely do a much better job than what I would do. So after I have read through the paper, my students' paper, I get them to approach a professional proofreader to get their paper proofread. So you should keep that in mind, that this is something, it is an expense, but you have to bear that expense. Another thing is while I'm proofreading. So when I'm reading the paper, let's not call it proofreading, but when I'm reading the paper, I read sentence by sentence and I see, is this sentence useful? Is it adding any value to the reader who is reading the paper, or it is not? Yeah. So think about it when your first draft is ready. Read through the paper carefully, sentence by sentence. See if you can merge a couple of sentences, yeah, or delete some sentences if it is not making too much sentence, or combine some sentences together. See, what is important is writing a long paper is much easier rather than writing a short paper. If you have to write something in limited words, it is challenging and it is hard. But if you're writing it, whatever you can write, if there is no page limit, you will just write a long story. But if there is a limited number of pages or words that you have to stick to, you have to be very creative on how you can write. Yeah, so that is a skill that you need to build. And another benefit of getting a paper proofread is there is another pair of eyes that is looking at your paper. Sometimes what happens is when you are reading your paper, you are reading what you want to read, because the text is in your mind already. So it might be something different written on the paper, but it is just human cognition or human psychology, how it works, that you read what you want to read. And that is a problem, that when you are self-proofreading, things can get lost. Okay, the next point. And this is, I'm a very big fan of figures and tables in SLR papers. Okay. If you see the two paper examples that I showed you just now, the one from Mayur and another one from Dipali, if you download that paper and look at the number of figures that those papers have and the number of tables that those papers have, you'll be blown away. Just check that out. And the quality of the figures and the quality of the tables matters a lot. Now, do spend good amount of time drawing proper figures that are appealing to the reader. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Everyone knows that. But that picture has to be good looking. It should convey the information in a way that it could be understood easily by people. Okay. So when you are, if your paper is not ready and you submit it for review, you will definitely find mistakes. And I do pick up such mistakes when I'm reviewing my student papers. When you are submitting your paper for review, I like to give a very funny analogy here, is consider that you are going on a date. Yeah. And when you went on your first date, how much careful were you? What are things did you think about? Oh, how do I look? Do I look proper? Have I combed my hair properly? Do I look good? Remember that moment and think about the same thing about when you're submitting your paper. Your paper has to be flawless. It has to be perfect, the same way that you were when you went on your first date. Yeah, that is what I tell my students whenever I say something, whenever I try to explain them the importance of getting a paper ready. Okay, so remember that your paper should be flawless. Yeah, keep that in mind. Don't just submit a half-cooked paper to review for review. So another thing that I also like to say is that your paper is your creation. Yeah, if you look at world famous artists, their paintings fetch millions of dollars. That is their creation. They are proud of their creation. I want you to be proud of your research paper. Yeah, so put that much effort in getting a really good quality article. Yeah, there is no rush. Yeah, there is no rush. It is a matter of your reputation. And we, as editors or reviewers of papers, we do keep a record of who submits the papers to our journals. Yeah, and we know that once we have seen a paper or rejected a paper, we get another paper from the same author or same team, we are very cautious and we look through very carefully. So I don't want you to get into that that area where your paper is unnecessarily scrutinized because once upon a time you submitted a half-cooked paper. So don't do that. Okay. Look at some small things very carefully. For example, look at the font that you use in your figures. Yeah. So I have seen examples where even my students sometimes did. They have multiple fonts in one figure, different font types, different font sizes. It just doesn't look nice. So think about that as well very carefully. Look at the font color. If you're using a dark background, use a white color font. Don't have a dark blue background and a black color font. It will just look terrible. So don't make these kind of things with your paper. Remember to keep one font, like I said, and don't keep changing it, because probably in figure 1 you used one font, figure 2 or figure 3 there's a different font, or there's a mix and mash of different fonts and so on. Don't do that. Another thing is having a blur figure. Very common I see in the papers that I review. What's the point of having a blur figure? It doesn't make sense, because I can't see what is there when I'm reading the paper. And if you send it for review, a reviewer cannot see. So the point of having a figure, if it is blurred, it defeats the purpose. So keep that in mind as well. Okay, I want to ask you one question here. What tool do you use to draw figures, or do you just draw it in Word? Are there any software or any web tool that you are using for drawing figures? Any answers? If you're just using Word, that's fine. Jinal says PPT, Word. Okay. Canva, Trupti. Trupti, by the way, do you know Canva was founded in Perth? It's a Perth startup. It was a Perth startup. PowerPoint, Word. Okay, so Word, Visio, PowerPoint, that's good. I use a tool called as draw.io. So do check that out. It has some really good templates to draw real nice figures. Okay, Adobe Illustrator. Oh, that's becoming very professional. If you have that background, I think that will be great. Okay, so let's move on to the third point now. The third thing that I want to talk to you about is inconsistent tables. And this is another thing that I see very often even in some really good journals when the papers come through. Being careless with your tables, making mistakes in your tables, I think it is just not acceptable at your level as an academic or even as a research scholar. Okay, so read through your tables very carefully. Don't make any mistakes. Typically, most journals will have a standard format of how the tables are created. Yeah, so there is not much option to change a lot of things. In figures, you have that flexibility, but in tables, you do not have that flexibility. So don't cram too much information in the tables. Keep it nice and simple, but make sure that there are no mistakes. Yeah, I often find textual mistakes in tables. What happens is when you're probably proofreading your paper, you read the whole paper, but then you don't read the text from the table. Yeah, so do check that. Yeah, one more tip I have here for tables is, and this is what I personally do when I'm researching, is if I'm reading any paper and I find a very interesting table that they have used, then I take a screenshot of that paper or that table and I put it in my collection. So when I come to the point where I have to write my research paper or draw a table, or think of what table I'm going to put in my my paper, I have some templates that I can look into. So do keep that as a habit as well. It's a good practice. Yeah, another interesting or funny thing that I observe in many papers is the table heading. Do you know where the table heading goes? Does it go on the top or the bottom? Yeah, just quickly answer. The table heading goes on the top or it goes at the bottom of the table? Because this is one thing I see many a times that goes wrong. So sometimes sometimes the authors would put the table heading at the top and then the table. Sometimes it is at the bottom. It's all mixing all across the paper. Okay, so Rohit says on the top, Paula says on the top. So yeah, so typically on most occasions the table is given at the top and the figure is at the bottom. Yeah, but there may be exceptional cases in some journals where it may not be the case, but typically the table is at the top and the figure is at the bottom. Okay, so now next thing is missing connections. Okay, so this is where if you have a table, or if you have a figure, you have to have equivalent content in your paper that matches with what is there in the table. Yeah, so for table, you will say if you have different sections, different headings, different columns and rows, you have to write about that content of the table in your text part, in the paragraph. Yeah, many a times that is missing. So it is only, you say a table 4 shows this, and then you have a nice table, but then there is no discussion about the content of the table. And in SLR, it is very important that you describe, not just put the content in the table, but you have to give the a reason or a discussion about the table. What did you find out by creating that table in that way? So that connection is required. Yeah. Another thing is, same thing applies with figures as well. And figures, there is a typical problem that I often see is, firstly, when you draw a figure, if it is kind of, there are multiple branches and things coming in a figure, the reader may not know how to read your figure. So I suggest that you should number the components or the parts of the figure so that it is easier for the reader to follow. So imagine there are 5 or 6 boxes and then they are connected in some order. Yeah, or if you build a knowledge map for your systematic review paper, number those components or the parts, and then the description for that particular figure or that part of the figure, the text that you use should be the same text that should be there in the paragraph where you're writing it. Sometimes you say something here, for example, you say machine learning in the figure, and when you're writing it, you're writing about artificial intelligence. Although you mean the same thing, don't interchange the words. Keep it consistent. Yeah, so that is one thing that I often pick up either when I'm reviewing a paper or when I am giving feedback to my students. Another thing is, how do you write the figures? For example, you will write figure 5, yeah, with a capital F. Sometimes, so in some part of the paper, it is complete figure F is written. Sometimes it is only fig, F-I-G 5. Sometimes it is a small f and a small fig 5. So there are so many combinations and permutations within just one paper. That it's sometimes hilarious. It has to be, keep in mind that your paper has to be consistent. So when you're proofreading or going through the paper, you have to look for all these things. Okay. And the last thing that I want to discuss is the 5th point is the ordering is also important. The way in which you describe something. So in a figure, if it is a flow chart starting from top to the bottom, describe it in that order in your paper. Yeah, so start with something at the top, then come down, then come down, come down. And like I mentioned, keep the wordings the same. Yeah, if there is the top one has specific has a heading or has a word, just use the same in the description in your paragraph as well. So that is very important in terms of ensuring the right order is maintained. Yeah, so I think that is all. Those are the 5 things that I wanted to cover. These are just the top 5 things which people or authors do not look into when they are reviewing or submitting their paper for review. So do check these 5 things at least. Many of you did say that you are already writing an SLR paper. So if you have reached the first draft of your paper, do check these 5 points that I just now discussed. Okay, so a lot of you have been with me for nearly an hour and 20 minutes. So I have one more bonus tip for you with respect to your paper, and that is, once you think that your paper has gone through first draft, your guide or your supervisor or your mentor has given you some feedback on the paper, and it is ready to submit. Before you actually submit your paper, take a printout of that paper and read it out loud. Yeah, when you read the paper out loud, it will give you the experience of how your readers feel when they are reading your paper. Okay, so it is an effect of how they experience, or how the reviewer will experience when they are reading it. Sometimes the sentence can be grammatically correct, but when you read it, it does not sound right. So you may have to go back and change the wording, change the sentence structure or something like that, so that it is more easy to read, more easy to understand. So that was the one bonus tip for you to check it out. All right, so those were the few things that I wanted to cover in today's webinar. Now I would like to show you give you a preview of my SLR course. Yeah, so what I have taught you, or what I have shown you today, and what I have said is that the important part of SLR is how the paper is written. And you heard Mayur say that, you heard Kaflina say that the small steps is what help you to get the paper in a shape that it can get accepted in a good journal. So what I've done now is I have developed a SLR course taking into consideration all these aspects. I have run 2 live courses on this topic, but this one is an online course, so you can learn it at your own pace. So I want to show you that. You have a look at it. If you feel it is of value, I guess you will enjoy the way I have designed it, and you will see the value that you can get by taking this course. Give me 1 minute to open it up. Okay, so I hope you all can see this screen. So what I want to show you here is on the left side are the different modules in this course. And the way I have designed this course is I have taken the main sections of your systematic literature review paper, and I have designed modules according to that. So if you see, for example, module 1 is introduction. So in this module, you will learn how to write the introduction section of the systematic literature review paper. Many of the questions that you asked just now, when I asked you what are you struggling with your systematic review paper, would have been definitely answered in this through this course. Okay, so each module is divided into sub modules. All right, so for example, we have the module on introduction. There's a bit of a background starting here. Let me just change this look. Give me a minute. Okay, so this is a better view. So you have the introduction section here. There are 3 small lessons. So there is a module and there is a lesson. Okay. So this is, say, submodule 1. So now we have module 1, introduction. There is a dedicated subsection. So within the introduction section of your systematic review paper, you need to write about prior literature reviews or prior systematic literature reviews. So this whole module covers that bit. There are multiple examples. You can see 8 different examples. Each one has a video inside where I show you what needs to be done. Every activity, every lesson has a reading task. So you need to read something, then you have to research something, and then you have to write something. Okay, all the slides are also available in the same lesson, so it's easy for you to follow. And every lesson has a small target. And these targets are important because this is how you're going to complete your systematic review paper. These small targets will combine and make a complete systematic review paper. Yeah, so you can see some examples, screenshots. And so that is, say, lesson 1. Similarly, then you can go to lesson 2. From here, literature review example 2. Again, there'll be a video where I talk about it. I give you some reading tasks, some writing tasks, and a target. Some of these lessons will also have some additional resources. This one does not have, but if it is, you will see a link or some attachments around here. Okay, so in total, there are 150 lessons. So if I just keep scrolling, see, all the way till here, till module 6, which is conclusion. So you can see it's one of the most comprehensive course if you're thinking of doing a systematic literature review. You know, I can guarantee there is no other course that comes anywhere close to this course. So like here I showed you, one of the things that you write is the prior literature review. The next thing you write in the introduction section is research questions. So I have given examples of different research questions here. Then you can write about the background. Again, we are still in the introduction section. Some examples, 5 different lessons here. You also have to talk about the statistics that justify your research problem. Again, many examples and many lessons in this space. So this is where the, say, introduction section finishes. So if you complete all this, your introduction section of your systematic literature review paper would be complete and would be thorough. And it would be what is expected from a high quality SLR paper. Okay. After introduction, we move to the methodology part. Yeah. So again, in a systematic literature review, methodology is one of the most important things. Yeah. You cannot have a weak methodology section in an SLR paper. So for that, you can see there are so many lessons in methodology in part 1, methodology section part 2, methodology section part 3. So all these things is what you need to complete. Section part 4. Then I have a dedicated section on tables, what different types of tables you should have in your SLR paper, what different figures you should have in your SLR paper. Some of you asked about data extraction. What data should you extract? How much should you extract? So I have a dedicated section on that, which explains you what you need to do in data extraction. Then we come on to the results section, examples, a lot of results, how you should write. Just now I mentioned about linking the content of the tables with the text or the paragraph. So there is a module on that. There's a module on thematic descriptions or knowledge map or classification of literature. There's content on how to do a conceptual framework, how to write recommendations based upon your SLR findings. A full dedicated module on discussion, how to write the discussion, lots of examples, how to write the limitations section, again a separate module. The discussion, limitations, future work, conclusion, these are some of the sections that a lot of SLR papers do very poorly in my experience. So I have got dedicated sections within these for these. So if you are writing, say, limitations part of your systematic review paper, you need to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lessons. So you have to go through each lesson, go through the video. So there is a video, there is examples from actual papers, there is a writing task, there is a template. See, I have things like this. This is what you can use when you are writing. Some of you just mentioned one of the struggling points was that you're finding it hard to write. So this course has, I don't know, over 100, 200 sentence templates that you can use and improve upon when you write your paper. So this is just one example. Template structure 1, how to write limitations. So this is one flow that you can try. Let me show you another example here. Example 3. Again, so we observed the 6 studies provide this. The parameters are this, and so on and so forth. So like what I said, everything has a target. Everything has a writing task, a research task, a video. All the videos have subtitles in it. So if you do not understand my accent for some reason, you can read through read the subtitles. Future work, again, a big video on future work. Writing task, again a template. What you can do, how you can write your future work. Conclusion, research activity, writing task, how to write a conclusion. A template is here. A lot of references I have also provided here, and these are all hyperlinked. And most of the examples that I have in this paper, in the course, are open access papers. So you can click through this paper, look at the paper. So whatever I'm kind of explaining here, you can find it in the actual paper around here. Okay, so if you are really serious about writing your systematic literature review paper, then I would recommend that you take up this course. And it is this course is like designed to guide you through each and every section. So it is not like mixed up everywhere. It is fairly it is pretty well organized in a way that you can pick up, say if you want to start writing introduction, you can start at the introduction section and follow through the whole set of videos. Okay, so I see you have a lot of comments. Actually, I didn't see what you were saying while I was presenting. Abhay Jain, will there be a session for SLR paper writing again? So at the moment, Abhay, I am not thinking of running a live session, which is why I created this online course, so that you can run through, you can practice it in your own time. I ran the course earlier because I was on leave. I could do that. Payal says, well planned, awesome, very well organized, very comprehensive. This is awesome. I'm confident that I can write it now as well. And so, okay, so if you have any further questions about registering this course, you can ask them here. Or if you want to register to this course, I will share you a link now, so you can go and register to the course. Okay, so I've copied the invite registration link here. So first thing that you need to do to register to this course is you have to be part of my research community, which is vidypoddar.com. So if you're not a member of my community, you have to be a first member, become a member. And if you click on this link, it will take you through that process of registration. Okay, so this course is part of the oh yeah, Biju, yeah, sorry, I was coming to that. So this course is part of my platform. The course fee, the one-time fee for this course is $99 US. So you get access to all the course material, access to the website, access to a group where I will be part of that group. And if you have any questions while you are doing your SLR paper, you can post them in the community, which is part of my website, and I will answer all your questions. But if you follow through the course step by step, I think the course is designed in such a way that it will help you to progress at a good pace, and you will complete. And the examples that I have given, the templates that I have provided, they will be something that you can help easily. Okay, Fateh, you mentioned the website is not working. It is live. People are able to open it. So you give that a try again, and you would need to register first. And if you follow that link, it will take you to the course. At the moment, I have not opened this course up for like publicly open. It is only for the participants who have joined this webinar today. And today is a special day for me. Today is my father's 75th birthday. Yeah, so it's a big milestone for my dad, and that's why I thought I would launch my course today. So after we finish the webinar, we have kind of organized a virtual Zoom meeting birthday party because he is in India, and we can't travel anywhere at the moment. So we are going to have a virtual celebration following this webinar. So if you have any further questions about this course, do let me know. Registration, you can register it online right away. And yeah, I think it is a very thorough course. If you're serious about completing your SLR paper, then just register and follow it step by step. And yeah, you will be the next one who gets your SLR paper accepted. Yeah, I will pass on your regards to my dad. He'll be very happy. Oh yeah, and one more thing I forgot to mention to you is the first module of this course is completely free. So if you log into my website, make an account, you can go and check out the first section. Yeah, the introduction section module. You can see all the videos, all the content is completely open. Feel free to go through it, watch it. And I just want you to be comfortable. There is no rush. There is no push. If you are happy with the course, then you can buy it. So all these ones, which you can see like a play icon here, these are all are freely available. From the methodology part, those are not. So you can go and check out the introduction section, how to write the introduction, complete step-by-step guide, all the videos, all the reading tasks. Even if you do that, you will finish your introduction section without any issues. Okay, so yeah, these are all the slides, all the lectures. Only thing is the course is designed in a way that you need to completely watch the video before you can progress to the next lesson. Yeah, you cannot jump between lessons, so you have to go step by step. And the purpose for that is to ensure that you don't miss out on anything, because some things I may say in lesson 1 or lesson 2, and if you don't go through that lesson, you will not understand what I'm talking about in lesson 3. Yeah, so that's why all the videos are compulsory to be watched, and only then the next lesson will open up. Okay, so please go through my website, use that link that I have sent you for registration, and yeah, so this special rate of $99 is only available till the 10th of June, and the reason for that is 10th of June is my mom's birthday. Yeah, so both my mom and dad are born in the same month, and so just as a special for them, I have given this as a special offer. Biju, yes, you can buy it in a few days. Like I said, the course will be available at this rate till the 10th of June. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the session. You got to learn something. Do check out the course. Do the free session on the introduction module, completely free. Check it out. Only when you are happy and when you're comfortable with the quality of the course and the content that you're getting, I think make that call and come on board. Once you come on board, I think you'll be part of my inner circle, my close-knit community, like how Mayur said, a part of my group, part of my WhatsApp group, where we talk a lot about SLRs, any challenges that you face while you are doing your SLR. I'm there to answer your questions. as you progress through this process. And yeah, so the purpose or the main intention behind building this course, and it took me quite a long time, in fact, to make this course, creating the videos, cutting the videos, putting the subtitles, uploading it on this, probably take me a lot of time to get it to this state. But I have spent a lot of time to make sure that it is in a way that will help you all when you start following the course. I think that is more important. Your time is very important because you are doing your research, you may be doing your PhD, and I think time is very critical of that moment. And if you get the right guidance, right mentorship, right advice, and right content, right learning material, I think your speed will increase. And it's not only just your speed, but it's also the outcome. I think results are very important. Results matter a lot, so I want you all to succeed, but it does mean that you have to put in the required amount of effort to get to that stage. Okay, so I will close the webinar shortly. So if there are any other questions, do let me know. Ramani, I will post the WhatsApp group and the Telegram group information on my community. So once you log in, you will see that information there. Thanks, Gino. I will pass on your wishes to my dad. He'll be happy to get so many wishes from so many people. Okay, I think that's all I had to share today. If there are any questions about the course, do post them in the community itself, or you can post them, send me an email at courses@vidy.com. Okay, so that's all I had to say. I wish you all the best in your SLR journey. And if you do decide to come on board and take my course, I think you will find it very useful, and you'll just speed up your whole SLR process and get a few publications in a very short period of time. All right, on that note, I will say thank you very much. I was planning for this session to be like 60-70 minutes. It's taken a bit longer than that. Yeah, but I think it was helpful to you all. And yep, I look forward to hearing from you all. All right, thank you all very much. Take care and stay blessed. Bye-bye.